Thanks to the support as a channel member, Simon. Well, it's taken a little bit more mid-season transfer shenanigans than I would normally anticipate, but I think I have finally got the dressing room back under control. And not only that, we've got a new 6'4" striker, and we're top of the National League North. So it all seems to be turning out okay after all. Hello, welcome to part 16 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the National League North. We're away against Bradford Park Avenue and at home against Chester. Since you were last with me, 6 matches, and these 6 matches are the story of me wrestling back control of this dressing room. Defeat, draw, win, win, win. Finally, we're actually sorting things out. As you can see, there is a new face on the score chart the last couple of matches. Amadou Bakayoko is a Sierra Leonean international who is 6'4" and most recently played for Bolton in League One, where, I mean, he didn't score loads of goals, but to be fair, he got 4 goals from 5 starts in the league, 7 goals from 4 starts in the cup. That's 11 from 9 starts overall. Forget the substitute appearances. This guy's a goal scorer at League One level, previously of Coventry, Walsall and various non-league clubs as well. And because he'd been out of contract all season, we were able to pick him up for a steal, £250 a week, just until the end of this season. And then we'll review from there. But if he carries on the way he started, he will become a long-term part of this team. And he's not the only transfer that has had to go on to wrestle back control of the club. Sam Bone, I think, left during the last episode. But Ronan Coughlin, remember him? We brought him in the summer, fell out with him, threw him in the under-18s, forgot about him, and have now got rid of him. So that's wages off the wage bill. Brandon Taylor, the 5'7" centre-back, is gone. He's gone to Aldershot. He's no one who didn't want to be here. And Damalio Brown-Sterling, who was a key player and top scorer for, or one of the top scorers for us last year, was another troublemaker this time around because of lack of game time. He has gone to Bath. And to balance all of that, oh, and also we released Dion Sembi-Ferris, who'd been the ringleader of all the troubles this year. It was very sad, but he actually agreed to a mutual termination with no compensation paid. So he was so fed up, he's just left. And fair enough, he's been here a long time. We didn't treat him great this season, but he didn't treat me great this season either. So he's gone. And then the players that have come in addition to Bakayoko, we've brought in a couple more defenders just to shore things up at the back as well. Frankie Terry, nephew of John Terry, I think. He's Paul Terry's son, and if I remember rightly, Paul Terry is John Terry's brother, right? Right. It's a Terry who's a centre-back. He's only 6 foot tall. I would have expected more meatiness out of him. He's on loan from Colchester till the end of the season. And then we've also brought in Nelson Idian, who is a 19-year-old centre-back, can also play right-back. Probably are going to play him at right-back. That's really what we brought him in to do. He's on loan from Derby until the end of the season. They've both just arrived in the last few days, so neither of them have made their debut yet. This is the team for the Bradford Park Avenue match. Now, Bradford are just outside the playoffs. This is a team, the kind of team that we've been struggling against this season. We're doing well against the teams in the bottom half and then struggling against the teams in the top half, or particularly in and around the playoffs. So this is a big test to see if we really have got good managerial support now. The only player unhappy is Jack Hinchy, who wanted more games. And I think when his promise comes due in a few days' time, he's got to admit he's played more games. So fingers crossed he sorts himself out as well, which should bring the club atmosphere up, the managerial support up, and eventually the team cohesion will catch up as well. And we should have got dynamics fixed. And hopefully we prove it in this game. So Marshall in goal. A back for of Donnelly, Terry making his debut, Al-Jafri and Cisse at right back, Aducci on the left, Smith and Roberts together in midfield with Quirk on the right, and then Campton, Sturridge and Sewell up front today. Bakayoko starts from the bench, as does the other new boy, Idian. But let's get these submitted, get new squad numbers doled out as required, and hopefully go and win a football match, because we're in good form now. We've won our last 3 in a row. I want to show you that we are entering some good form and that we've got a half-decent side. Have they got Jordan Nicholson? No, it's Jamie Nicholson. Don't care then. I thought one of our old boys was going to come back and get us, but Hopefully not, although now I have broken one of the golden rules of Football Manager and highlighted a player on the opposition team, which guarantees they then score against us. So that could be problematic, but nothing is happening at all in this first half. We're creaking towards half-time. It's a combined XG of 0.09 between the two teams, which is utterly pathetic. And I think Campton Sturridge picked up an injury right at the end of that first half. He has. So that is your opportunity to have a first look at 6'4" Bakayoko. He is on for the second half, partnering Saul. And once this guy's fully match fit, he is going to be a force. And hopefully he can do 45 minutes for us, showing us just how good he is in that target man role. It's actually allowed Onyeka a couple of times to play as the advance forward, something I've been wanting to try for a little while, that he was our only guy who could do the target man role. So we were kind of stuck with using him there. But Onyeka has looked quite useful when we've played him a little bit further forward as well. And there's chaos in the penalty area here. Someone just needs to put a boot through it. I don't know how we've not scored there. The ball bouncing around inside the 6-yard box. We're hurling it back in, and Saul has got the flick on, and it's the most ridiculous goal we've scored forever. And I think the referee's disallowing it as well. He has disallowed it for offside. This was absolutely bonkers, though. We had all the chaos in the penalty area, and then the big ball forward from Cisse, and then the flick over the top. So with 20 minutes to go, it is substitution o'clock. We've obviously already brought Bakayoko on, but I think now is the opportunity for Onyeka to come on, see if we can grab a goal out of him. And then we've got such a small squad now after all these players have left. We've only really got, as an attacking substitution, Far as a right winger to come on. So what we might do is drop Quirk back to right back and sling on Far and hope that I mean, that's kind of a double attacking change. Quirk's a much more attacking right back than Cisse, and we get a proper winger on further forward as well in the shape of Far. But if we can offer some encouragement and hopefully grab a goal, because otherwise this is another one of those frustrating matches against these more difficult teams. Why can't we beat the teams that are any good? It's rubbish. And that was just an aimless free kick forward. The Bradford goalkeeper collects comfortably, and we've got 10 minutes to try and find a breakthrough. All we need is a set piece. We've got a couple of big guys in the team now, and Onyeka is one of them. And Onyeka, with the little through ball from Bakayoko, is there to put us 1-0 up. 83 minutes on the clock, and it's the two big boys up front who've combined to get the breakthrough. It was Far is involved as well, plays it into Bakayoko, who, I mean, that's not really what we signed him to do, playing little through balls like that, but I'm not going to mind if he does. And that goal, super crucial, because it puts us back to the top of the league. As things stand, Marshall there, clutching the ball out of the sky from the corner, and now we just need to hold on for these final few minutes. This would be a really big result for us. And there is Bakayoko with the ball forward from Marshall. The goal he scored in the last match was very similar to this. It was the ball forward from Marshall, and Bakayoko grabs the goal, and he's done it again here. Marshall is going to get some assists with Bakayoko in this team, I think. The combination of that enormous kick that he's got on him. Look at the length on that kick from Marshall. This time, Bakayoko does take it a little bit wider than what he did in the previous game, but he's done fantastically well to apply the finish, and that is his third goal in 3 matches since signing for us. He is going to be the secret sauce that gets us over the finish line this season. After all those Premier League rejects, all the Premier League youngsters we brought in the summer, it's a 28-year-old journeyman lower league striker who's going to come in and be the difference maker. Maybe I shouldn't focus on youth quite so much as I tend to do. Do like developing a young player, but that's a good save from Marshall just to keep things at 2-0, and that should be that. I'm looking at the time on the clock. Can we have a full-time whistle, please, ref? They're not going to score twice in the time that's left, surely. I wouldn't even give them the opportunity to take this corner. It seems a little bit unreasonable that they're getting it. But the corner does come across, and it's dealt with relatively comfortably. Donnelly heading not very far clear. And I've just noticed that Bakayoko is the one that we're leaving forward when we're defending corners, which seems like a little bit of an oversight. I think we might need to just tweak that in our defensive set-piece instructions. If you've got a 6'4" guy in the team, you probably want him coming back to defend at corners. But there is another big goal kick from Marshall and a very important 2-0 win for Peterborough Sports as we maintain our spot at the top of the league. This is good stuff. So next up then we have Chester, and theoretically this should be a much easier game. These are the kind of games that we do okay in. I can't remember. I picked the team and then the window cleaner came. Have I made changes? I don't think Hinchy played in the last game, did he? Did Far start? This is the team. Should I reintroduce them? Put them in window cleaners, eh? Marshall in goal. Back four of Donnelly, Terry, Johnson and McKnight. Green, Cisse, Hinchy and Far. And then Campton, Sturridge and Sewell up front. Why am I not playing Bakayoko yet? I imagine I've got good reason. We'll trust in past Kev. I think, to be honest, it's more a case of just giving him time to fully settle in and showing a little bit of faith in the two strikers who've got like 40 plus goals between them this season. And if Bakayoko keeps coming off the bench and grabbing goals, I don't need to worry too much about forcing him into the team just yet. He'll get his time soon enough. But I've just dealt with one dressing room mutiny. What I don't want to do is cause either of these two to get a grumpy on, because they've been so important, and they're both under contract for next year, unlike Bakayoko, who's only in until the end of the season. We've got quite a few of these boys now who we've got tied down for next year, trying to build a core of a team for regardless of which division we're in. Marshall, McKnight, Johnson, Cisse, Far, Green, like I say, the two strikers. These guys have all got contracts for next season, so the theory is whichever division we're in, if we're at this level, we can bring in some youngsters to compete with them. And if we go up a league, we can push those guys down to be backups potentially and bring some better players in over the top. That's the plan. Always thinking. What we've not done yet is score a goal in this game. Although Sewell is in here and it's his 22nd goal of the season. I'm looking over at the linesman, the referee. I think we've got away with this one. It felt a little bit offsidey, but it's been given, so I'm not going to argue. We'll look at it from the other angle. Cisse doing good work to win the ball back in midfield there, and Far with the ball forward. And Sewell does really well to take it around the goalkeeper, just slide it underneath him to put us 1-0 up. And that's why these boys are still starting, because they are still very sharp. They are goal scorers. Donnelly has picked up a knock there, as has Terry. We've got a couple of players in that back line struggling a little bit, and we don't have anyone else who can come on and play left back. In fact, we have. Green can drop back to left back. We don't have anyone for left midfield. Right. Quirk is going to come on. We'll bring the new boy on to play centre back, even though that's not where we were going to play him. I think we'll just, in fact, we'll put McKnight at left back. McKnight has deputised at left back for us a couple of times now. So we'll bring him on. And then for the final change, we've got to bring Bakayoko on again. Get him on there as the target man. There's an argument we could go to a back three here. We're not going to, but we could go to a back three, because we're in the shape of Green and any of Quirk, Far or McKnight, we've got tailor-made wing backs there. I guess it would have to be McKnight because he can't play centre back. We're not going to do that though. That seems like a bad idea. We are keeping an eye on Idian though, making his debut. Albeit not in the position we're likely to use him in most often, but you never know. If he's brilliant there, he might get in. What is going on here? This is just proper non-league, lumping it one way, lumping it back the other way, and they really are just lumping it at us. Johnson takes the time to get his foot on the ball and actually play a pass out to Far, and this is much better now. I don't know why we were sinking down to their level and just lumping the ball, although we have got a big boy in the middle if we want to lump it in towards him. Green heads it back across goal. Sewell down to Hinchy, who shoots from range. And Jack Hinchy makes it 2-0. We need him to sort out his little bit of grumpiness that he's got. Fingers crossed that'll happen before the next episode. He's the last one that I would like to tie down to a deal for next year that we haven't yet been able to do that for. But it all relies on him being convinced that we kept the terms of his promise and gave him regular football, which, as far as I'm concerned, we have. And he's been the best player on the pitch today, so he's definitely someone we want to be involved in this team next year. Hinchy playing it back to Johnson there, and Johnson ball forward, looking for... I mean, I was going to moan that he aimed at Sewell rather than Bakayoko, but it's actually worked out quite well. And there is Sewell, and he can't keep his shot on target. It looked like he was offside anyway. The linesman was wafting his cloth on a stick around. And we're 3 points clear at the top of the league at the moment, boys and girls. This is the most comfortable we've looked in this league since 6 matches in before our first slump of the season. And there've been 2 already. Let's not rule out the possibility of one more slump. McKnight aimlessly lumping it forward again, and Green can't win it back. And now Chester have got the opportunity to come back and grab what should just be a consolation goal, although there are 4 minutes of added time here. This is like World Cup added time. It's ridiculous. What? They've now got 3 minutes to grab an equaliser. Why is it? There's been nothing happen in this match to lead to us needing 4 minutes of added time. And now I panic for a few minutes. Marshall shouldn't be being beat like this, I don't think. Marshall's better than that. Very frustrating. Was that only their second shot on target of the entire match? Green with the in-swinger, looking for Johnson, who can't keep his header down. And that should be full time. There's 5 seconds left. Referee, just blow the whistle. We don't need any more faffing about. Considering they're chasing a game, he's now taken 30 seconds to take that goal kick. As punishment, the whistle should be blown before he even kicks it. I don't understand why their goalkeeper has taken that long to take that kick, but there we go. We do come away with the victory, making it look harder than it was at the end, which seems to be our trademark at the moment. But importantly, that's 5 wins in a row in the league. A nice little unbeaten run, getting up and running as well. Saul moving back up the goal scoring charts, and we're 3 points clear at the top with 13 games to play. So we will come back somewhere midway through this little run to see where we are, and fingers crossed we'll still be top of the league and finally getting ourselves into a position where we can push on and secure a promotion. That would be very nice. I would enjoy a promotion, please and thank you. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.